We will concentrate on playing music much more than talking though. This is for my new composition called The Valley is Uncanny. And it's right. Better now? Great, okay. Great. I have the illusion that my voice projects well, but no. Right. It's a myth, right? not reality is yet so. Right. Okay. And it relates directly to the topic at hand. So I've always been fascinated with the concept of echo since I was a child now. And obviously I would love to compose music reflect the echo concept, but it is not easy as I thought. So it's taken a long time. Finally I think I find the right medium to compose music about echo. Okay. And in the end, what inspired me to finish the piece is music of Alvin Lucier, the American composer. Okay. And this concept that Lucier used in his work also reflect the echo in terms of scientific echo, the physical world of echo. And this led me to the world of mythological echo in the Greek mythology, and lead to my completion of this work. In the real world, normal people will hear echo if the reflected sound reach your ear about 1/15 second after the original sound. If the reflected sound reach your ear sooner than that, you would not hear it as echo, but you would interpret it as a reverberation of that sound. Okay, so in a way, when you consider the speed of the sound, if you hear an echo, that already implies sizable space, actually. So once you hear echo, you know you are in immense space, large enough to delay the sound at that point. Okay. Now, let me go back to the Alvin Lucier, the American composer. The piece that I'm talking about is a piece called Vespers. It's one of his lesser known work because it requires special equipment. Lucier found tone generator or oscillators called sondals. It's a special equipment used for research in the matter of sonar and echolocation. So basically, Lucier asked performer to be blindfolded, like in the picture here. And Vespers, in fact, is the name of species of a bat. The bat, as you probably know, is blind and use echolocation system to navigate their way around the world. So Lucier asked his performer to blindfold and use this sondal equipment to produce the sound, reflect the space around them, and navigate through this space without being seen, without seeing anything. So you see the image of the performer trying to play this pulse oscillator and listening to the reflected sound to understand the space around them. I have some audio example. It will not be interesting much because it will take time for performer to settle down. But we hear only the beginning. We hear the sound of sondal and we hear the reflected sound. If everything works, you will hear the sondal sound in 5, 4. So he just played the pulse oscillator. And of course, you can speed up and speed down the frequency of the oscillator, and the sound reflect back. To me, this is a simple piece, but in a way, it's very genius work. It shows the physical property of space around you in terms of music, very poetically. And for those of you who are looking for melody, this is not the piece for you. Certainly, you cannot sing this piece. But conceptually, it's a very clear, I think it cannot be more clear than this to reflect the concept of echo in a piece of music. So this piece inspired me so much to finish my echo piece. Let's hear the reverb a little. Now next, another inspiration for my work is the Greek mythology. And as you probably know, Echo has many origins in Greek myth. In one legend, Echo is a nymph who work with the god Zeus to delay Hera in order that Zeus can have affairs with other nymphs. As a god, Zeus has the privilege to have a lot of affairs, and Hera is Zeus' wife, was delayed by the talkative Echo. In the end, Hera found out that Echo just tried to delay her. So Hera cursed Echo so that Echo can only speak whatever spoken to her. So she can repeat the word only. She cannot speak anything anymore. Later on, Echo fell in love with Narcissus, as in this picture. But Narcissus, who is a very handsome god indeed, only loved himself. And in the picture, you can see Narcissus look at his reflection in the pond, and he would not be interested in anything else but himself. So Echo, with her unrequited love, in the end, withered away, and her body disintegrated. Only her sound remained. Another legend has it that the god Pan fell in love with Echo, but at the same time envious of her musical ability. So in the end, Pan said, "What the heck? I just asked the shepherd to tear Echo to pieces." So Echo was torn away to pieces, and her body was buried in the earth. Only her sound remained, but her sound that remained still reflect the repetition of everything that she heard. So that is at least two different account of Echo legend. Okay. If Echo is just repetition, it will not be that interesting. But Echo's repetition is, in a way, is imperfect. Because in physical world, you already know that when sound reach any materials, that material will absorb some frequency, and the reflected sound will sound different, maybe duller. It sound different for sure. And this concept was experiment, at least in the mind of Athanasius Kircher. He imagined artificial echo machine here, that when you can speak something, they will reflect a different word each time. So for this machine, Kircher imagined that the word is clamore, and then the echo will be amore, then more, and then ore, and finally re. So you get a different word, and each echo repetition has its own meaning. Incredible. I don't think he built this machine though, but at least conceptually this is a beautiful concept. Yeah. So you can see already that echo can be used effectively and poetically in language, in poetry as well. I will quote you another old saying, which is very beautiful. It said, "Who will put an end to this great sorrow?" And you can see the echo. Translating English is the hours passing. It's almost like two people in conversation. So in this way, Echo still maintain her identity. She repeat the word, but she create conversation. She still maintain her independency. So and this is the Echo that I find very interesting to bring the concept to music. So in the Alvin Lucier piece, Lucier Vesper explored the concept of echo in the physical world, in scientific echo. In my piece, we'll turn this around into a study of group social behavior and interactivity. Instead of asking performer to create some noise and wait for the echo, which admittedly that will be tough for human to understand the space unless you are bad. Of course, we'll use the interactive system instead. So the score of the piece is not noted in any traditional score, but will come in the form of instruction and conditioning for performer to read and react according to the instruction. So in effect, performer react to each other and react to the audience so that they will learn the space of the performing space. Okay. And you will hear the complete work tonight if everything goes as planned. Minus that. When you deal with technology, anything will get messed up anyway. Let's hope for the best. And I will play the highlight for you now. I will play the audio track with the assumption that the audio track is just half of the piece. There will be video and some text along with that. So I think I'm confident that I will not show you everything, so you have to wait and see this evening. So now if I press the right button, you will hear some note, and I will provide the text like a subtitle as well. It will be easier for you to understand. Okay. It will be much better than listening to me explaining it. Just hear the piece, it will be much better. Okay. Now the magic will happen any second now, if it works.
In one of his lesser-known works entitled Vespers, an American composer, Alvin Lucier, investigates the concept of echo in an ingenious way. A group of blindfolded performers moves through a space with the help of reflected sound produced by a handheld pulse oscillators called sondos. Named after a species of bats, Vespers demonstrates echolocation while incorporating an unconventional design of form. The work you are hearing now is, in a way, an homage and a reinterpretation of Lucier's Vespers. Speaking of bats, there are some strange creatures lurking around in this part of the valley. They are blind as a bat. And like bats, they use echolocation to see what's in front of them. But their system depends on an interaction among themselves, which could be error-prone. When that happens, they might crash into you. That's the risk you have to take. So you might want to help them out a bit. If you see the creature heading towards you, hit the instrument in your hand loudly. If the instrument hasn't been passed around to you yet, you are in trouble. In which case, I suggest stomping your feet. Yes, both of them, to tell them that you are here. These creatures are quite musical, so you want to make noise on the downbeat, since they tend to ignore any sound occurring at other places. Echo has been the source of musical inventions such as pockets, canyons, and other polyphonic imitative genres. The repetitions and imitations usually create unity, but sometimes result in the unexpected. In 1970, just a few years after Lucier's Vespers, a Japanese roboticist, Masahiro Mori, noticed that while a person's affinity for a robot increases with its human likeness, a robot that looks almost but not exactly like a real human being elicits feelings of eeriness and revulsion. He called this dip in emphatic feeling Bukimi no Tani, which is translated into Uncanny Valley. Masahiro provides us a graph charting human responses to things related to human in appearance. Zombies, being close to human but not quite so, are at the bottom of the valley. When zombie apocalypse comes, the degree of revulsion will be enormous. A Walking Dead. Zombies originated in a Haitian folklore as a reanimated corpse raised by magic, and later in contemporary literatures by other means such as viruses or radiation. A valley, on the other hand, is a good place to find echo. Mountains and caves are natural habitats for scientific and mythological echoes. For an echo to be heard clearly, the reflecting surface must be at least about 17.2 meters away. To hear an echo, according to Mark Danielewski, is to have already seen a sizable space. Athanasius Kircher imagined an artificial echo machine that could produce clamore, oh outcry, love, more, delays, ore, requena. Ovid portrayed Echo as a loquacious nymph who distracted Hera from discovering Zeus' amorous affairs. Angry, Hera cursed Echo so that the nymph could only repeat the words spoken to her. When Echo tried to embrace Narcissus, the beautiful man was alarmed.
Emoria quam sit tibi, copia nostri.
Sit tibi copia nostri. I give you power over me. Disappointed by Narcissus' rejection, Echo withered away. In the end, only her voice remained. Longus recounted how the god Pan, falling in love with Echo, yet envious of her musical ability, made the shepherds mad, who then tore Echo to pieces. The fragments of Echo, her still singing limbs hidden in the earth, still echoes every sound, mocking Pan's pipe. When zombie apocalypse comes, it won't do to tear a zombie to pieces. According to some experts, you might catch the virus and become a zombie yourself. Zombies, on the other hand, would like to tear you to pieces. The idea of fragmentation, of preserving the song in broken pieces, is central to the myth of Echo. Most interestingly, Echo's repetition is not an exact duplication of the original. She colors the words and gives a new meaning to her phrases. Her voice has life.
Beloved Echo, wilt thou favor me to some degree?
To some degree?
A little maiden I adore, not me, however, she doth love.
She doth love.
For a loving opportunity, now the moment fit does come.
It does come.
Thou therefore tell her I adore her.
I adore her.
To her trifling pledge of coin give thou.
Give thou.
Echo, what remains but my yearning to obtain?
To obtain. But what to obtain when zombie apocalypse comes? May I suggest a cat? Why? First, in most zombie literatures, animals do not become zombies. Brian Keene's Dead Sea is the exception that proves the rule. Second, cats are agile, much more than dogs, and are more able to avoid zombies. Third, cats hate zombies. Cats normally don't care much for people either, but when zombies apocalypse comes, who do you think will feed the cats? People normally don't care much for the holy either, but when zombie apocalypse comes, where do you think they will go? The designs of most churches support ample reverb. Divinity seemed defined by echo. Again, Danielewski. The hollowed always seems to abide in the province of the hollow.
When shall my troubled soul at large discharge the burden of her sins? Oh, where? Whence come this voice I hear? Who doth this grace afford? If it be thou, O Lord, say if thou hear my prayers when I call. And wilt thou pity grant when I do cry? Then though I fall, thy grace will my defects supply. But who will keep my soul from ill, quench bad desire, reform my will? Oh, may that will and voice be blessed, which yields such comforts undo one's distress. More blessed yet, wouldst thou thyself enmask, or tell at least who undertakes this task? Since now with crying I'm grown so weak, I shall want force even to crave thy name. Oh, speak before I wholly weary am.
It is best to keep conversation with the holy to the minimum, or run the risk of being a nuisance. Cats are easily irritated too. In fact, nothing irritates cats more than zombies. Echo can be easily annoyed as well. In fact, nothing irritates Echo more than an arrogant youth.
Decem iamet
I've
annos,
spent
etatem
10 years
trevi
on
in
Cicero. On.
Non me
I don't like
delectant
words
simones
of 2
dis
syllables.
syllabi.
Abi.
Proindes
Well,
sime voles
if you want me to go,
avire discito.
say so. Itto. When cats are annoyed, they become aggressive and raise their fur. In such case, give your cat a certain level of independence. Cats have excellent night vision. 1/6 of the light level required for human vision is enough. Cats also have excellent ears, with broad range of frequencies from 55 Hz to 79,000 Hz, or about 10.5 octaves. Additionally, cats are sensitive to smell. They will see, hear, and smell zombies long before humans can. Let them go out and hunt some zombies. Despite repeating what was said to her, Echo has an independent voice, oracular and at times whimsical.
Echo, what shall I do to my nymph when I go to behold her?
Hold her.
So dare I not, lest she should think that I make her a prey then.
Pray then.
Yea, but at me she will take scorn, proceeded of honor.
On her.
Me bear will she with her, to deal so saucily never.
Ever.
Yea, but I greatly fear she will have pure thoughts to refuse such.
Few such.
Then will I venture again more bold, if you want me to do so.
Do so. Echo's voice takes on a life of its own as Fred Chappell took another glance at Narcissus and Echo to round off the night.
Shall the water not remember my hand's slow
Ember
gesture, tracing above its mirror
of
my half-imaginary portrait?
air
My only belonging is my beauty, which I take away and then return. As love teasing playfully, the one being whose gratitude I treasure moves me.
is
I live apart
your
from myself,
heart
yet cannot live apart. In the water's tone,
stone.
that brilliant silence, a flower
Our
whispers my name with such slight moment.
light
It seems filament of air.
fair
The world becomes clouds
well.
well.
The cats are growing restless. I see. It's time for them to hunt again. Let us end this night with light, joy, and George Herbert in heaven.
Oh, who will show me those delights on high?
I.
Thou echo, thou art mortal, all men know.
No.
Wert thou not born among the trees and leaves?
Leaves.
And are there any leaves that still abide?
Bide.
What leaves are they? Impart the matter wholly.
Holy.
Are holy leaves the echo then of bliss?
Yes.
Then tell me, what is that supreme delight?
Light.
Light to the mind, what shall the will enjoy?
Joy.
But are there cares and business with the pleasure?
Leisure.
Light, joy, and leisure. But shall they preserve?
Ever. With that,
Okay, I have to save the ending as a surprise. So, but thank you so much. I think this is the end of the presentation. If you have any question, feel free. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
To comment, the very leisure. So the English is leisure, and then
right.
of course it works better. Pleasure.
Right, our pleasure. Yes.
And necessity, ever.
Right.
So it's interesting
Right.
to see something that's being read in a different.
It's a different way. Yes.
accent.
Mhm.
It's really-
I'm not even sure whether the author would like to just only reflect the letter or the pronunciation as well. Though.
But you see it so often. Hallelujah.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone. And all the Canadian
yes, right, right.
says, do ya?
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Mm.
And then because hallelujah.
He's not gonna do ya.
And I actually
Okay, Krab, if there is no other question, well, let me end the presentation here and let me introduce the second speaker. Okay.